So the countdown to this year's World Cup is well and truly on as 32 nations combine to create the greatest sporting spectacular on the bloody planet. But in this video, I'm going to try and answer you one simple question. Can Uruguay win this year's World Cup? That's right, folks, back once again with another World Cup summary video. That's right, where we're going to try and answer one simple question. Can this nation actually go out and win the World Cup out in Qatar? We'll take a look at it, all of it, in a second. Of course, if you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe button, bang it, all things World Cup related, Black and Rovers related, world football itself related. We got it all here, boys, under one roof. Of course, the countdown is well and truly on, with the tournament set to kick off in November 2022, of course. But what's going to happen this coming World Cup? We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, of course. And if you are interested in helping out the channel in another way, check out the links down below. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Twitch, I'm on Patreon, and of course there's a Discord in there. So get in amongst it and let's get chatting. All right, let's take a look at Uruguay, of course, one of a few nations that have been so victorious to win a World Cup. Not only one World Cup, not only a World Cup, but we're multiple World Cups. That's right, two, I think, is the count. We'll have a look at it in a second. Of course, Uruguay qualified in third place in the CONMEBOL qualification phase over in South America, finishing convincingly behind. Quite a big gap between themselves and Argentina in second spot. 2 points are clear of Ecuador in fourth. They qualified on the 24th of March 2022. It's their 14th tournament. They're, of course, up there with regular faces. 2018 was their last 4 tournaments in a row for them now. They did win it in 1930 and 1950, a long, long time ago now. They're well overdue to do it. They're managed by Diego Alonso, of course, for Uruguay. And, of course, the key man for me is a young gun, a guy who made the big move from Benfica to Liverpool this past summer. He's not got off the greatest start, though, Liverpool, but you can't knock the talent. The talent is there, and I think Darwin Núñez is the VIP for Euro. Let's take a look at the graphic then down the bottom. Of course, they did qualify over the likes of Ecuador, of course, who also qualified alongside them. Peru, Colombia and Chile, Paraguay, Bolivia and Venezuela were all in that mix, but Uruguay were just too good in the end. It was a very long-winded qualification phase, and there was a lot of and ahhing at will they qualify, but of course they came through to join Brazil and Argentina and Ecuador as South American representatives. Let's take a look at the group then. Of course, it is Group H, which for me is the tightest group in the lot. They've saved the best to last, and I really don't know which way this is going to pan out. I like South Korea. I think Ghana could be an absolute force as well, and of course Portugal, you just don't know. Will the real Portugal show up, or will they be shit? We'll have to wait and see. And of course, let's not rule out these guys. Uruguay, they've got some talent in there. They might be a little bit old. Of course, we've got Suarez, we've got Cavani, we've got Godin, all expected to take part in this tournament, despite in their late 30s across the board. But they've also got Darwin Núñez, they've also got some other young guns trying to make their own names, as of course the new generation of Uruguayan talent comes through. This group could go either any which way you like. There is scenarios where Uruguay come out here top of the group. There's also scenarios where Uruguay come out of here bottom of the group. But of course they'll kick off their campaign against South Korea. But the most important game is match number 2 for them, where they take on Portugal, of course. South Korean game, I do think it's going to be tight. Again, all eyes on this one. All the hopes of a nation will ride on this one. And you don't want to come out of this with a defeat against South Korea. Again, it could go either way. You play this game, South Korea against Uruguay, 100 times. And it's going to be very close to the money, 40-60 in one way or another, and I don't know which way it's going to go. I don't really know. I cannot put my faith or belief back. If I'm a betting man, this is the group to avoid by big time. I cannot call it. So tight first game for Uruguay, where they could win, lose or draw that one, but for me, they've got to get something out of the Portuguese game. That is, of course, a must. And then they'll wrap it up against Ghana, which of course they've got history there. There's history between Ghana and Uruguay, and again, just maybe that should be the most important game for Uruguay. But they could be qualified by that point, and of course they could actually destroy Ghana's chance as well to qualify once again. It could boil down to that last third important game against Ghana, and again, we will it will be one to watch from the comfort of your home, or if you're lucky enough, in the stadium itself. So a very, very difficult group, which could go one way or another. And again, the goals from Cavani, Suarez, and Nunez are going to be vital. But the experience at the back with Godin will be monumental for this nation and their hopes of going far. And again, if you can go far, again, I've not really looked at the bracket, but my knowledge or my understanding is the winner of this group will, of course, take on the runner-up of Group G. Correct me if I'm wrong. And of course, when you look at Group G, because Brazil run away with it, of course, so winning this group is monumental for progress, I think, on the grand scheme of things. So if you win this group here, you're likely to, in my unbiased point of view, you're likely to take on Serbia or Switzerland, or maybe, who was the other one over there, Cameroon. But of course, and that's definitely a winnable feat. It is, of course, a difficult task to get out of this group, none the same. So for me, Uruguay will look at this as an opportunity to go far in this tournament. And if you can get to the quarterfinals, you never know. You never know. In fact, I'm building a case here. I'm building a case in my own. As I'm talking and I'm explaining this, I'm actually seeing a path to the semi-finals, according to my brain, here for Uruguay. There's a path for them. And if they get to the semi-finals, who knows? They could be the Croatia of 2022. They could be a team that could make the final. And you know what? With the Cavanis, with the Suarezes, with the Godins, and the young guns, of course, Darwin Núñez, and everybody else, they could actually, dare I say it, compete for a third title in their nation's history. Goodness gracious me, I'm actually convincing myself. But let's, of course, take a look at the odds then, shall we? 2-1 on for them to qualify. They are favoured to qualify in this. 50-1 to lift the trophy at the end of it. Of course, get your brackets out. You do the math. You do the passages, of course. But it's going to be tough to see Uruguay just get out of this group. That's the major hurdle for them. That's all what their focus should be on right now, is getting out of this group. I don't think it's an easy case. I think all four of these nations have a realistic, not just a sliver, but a realistic chance to get out of it. And you've got to get off to a flyer, and that is why the Portugal game is pretty much last chance saloon. If you lose or stumble against South Korea, you've got to pick up the result against Portugal, and that game could go either way. So, Linda, give it to me straight.
Can they win the World Cup?
Can they win the World Cup? You betcha. You betcha they can. And will they win the World Cup?
Will they win the World Cup?
Will they win the World Cup? No, they will not win the World Cup. But I'm not saying that a long journey for Uruguay is off the charts here. I think there's definitely scope there, and there's definitely scope for any one of these four nations in this group. If you play your cards right and you win this group, I think you're destined for the quarterfinals, or maybe even the semi-finals, dare I say it, as well. So I think Uruguay, depending on where they land in this group, they could have a great experience for their nation once again and get the hopes up of a nation one more time. But if I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, I'm going to say knocked out in the last 16. Unfortunately, whether they finish runners up here behind Portugal, South Korea, and they take on Brazil, I think I'm right. Anyway, I don't know if I'm right. But they will get knocked out. They will get knocked out. It's plain and simple in my eyes. That's, of course, my take on it, guys. Let me know, of course, if you agree. So there you have it, folks. There you bloody have it. A short, sharp take on this nation's chances out in Qatar 2022. What do you expect this country will do in this year's tournament? Do you think they'll get out of the group stages, or do you think they'll go deep into the competition itself? Let me know your opinion down below. And of course, we'll look forward to non-stop coverage right here at Blackburn Overseas. We're going to have, of course, predictions, previews, reviews, reactions, and of course, reactions from real fans themselves, of course. So that's all to look forward to this year out in Qatar 2022. So make sure you smash your subscribe, smash the thumbs up, and smash the little bell, boys and girls, as we look forward to a fantastic winter, or at least late 2022 of world football. Let me know your thoughts and opinions again about this nation, and of course the tournament itself in the comment section. But until then, guys and girls, I'll see you soon for the next one.